Hello and welcome to our weekly IG Live. You can always find us here on Thursdays, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, whatever time zone you're in. We're happy to have you with us. Thank you for joining us and following along. If you have missed any of our past episodes, you can find them on Instagram. You can also find them on our YouTube channel. And we are always here talking about how you can make a way in your life, following your dreams. We're going to share with you things that are happening with Makeaway Media and how we can encourage you to follow your dreams just like we're following ours. Today we're going to be talking with author Deedee Cummings, and she is going to be telling us more about her own Broadway dreams. If you were joining us last week or on one of our previous episodes, you know that she is planning to, oh, there she is. She is planning to take the Kayla, a Modern Day Princess picture book series and turn it into a Broadway musical. So we're going to be hearing some more details about that today. And she's going to be on here in just a minute, and she has a really beautiful book that she's going to show us. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good.
Good. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead. I was listening.
No, no, that was it. I was just talking about how I think last week you said you were going to show us that beautiful presentation. I don't know if there's like a name for it, but like the presentation book that you have to kind of help people see your vision for the musical or for the Broadway, right?
Yes, and I'm so glad that Yesenia is on. I did recognize your name, Yesenia, but I didn't recognize your, what do they call it? Like a
handle.
Handle, yeah. All in coffee, I didn't recognize that name. But Yesenia, I remember you, and did you see the beautiful post that Yesenia just put up about the Kayla books?
Oh, I missed it. I'll have to go look.
Well, you'll see it because I haven't shared it yet on our account, but I'm going to share it on our account. So I really, really, really appreciate Yesenia giving us a shout out on her account about her opinion of the books, which is great. She's summarized them right up. And Anthony, thank you so much for the comment, mental richness. I hope that's a compliment to us. But yeah, I wanted to show a little bit more because every kind of week, thank you, Yesenia. Every week we've talked a little bit about this book, but we haven't really gotten to get into detail about it. So I'm only going to talk about it for 10 minutes, but while we're at the top of our time here and we have everybody on, I just want to make sure everybody comes back next week. We've been talking about doing these giveaways, and I apologize for the slow start because summer has been crazy. But next week, everyone who's on will be entered in a chance to win the whole series plus some other little nice things associated with the series, like stickers and postcards and things like that. So we're going to give that away next week on the live, so make sure you come back for that. But the past couple weeks we've been talking a little bit about this book, which I call it a concept guide. Some people call it oh shoot, I can't remember the name of it, a lookbook, I think is one term for it, a lookbook, but there's another term I was trying to recall that I can't call up to my memory right this minute. But when you have an idea to do something as big as what we're trying to do with this, you need to be able to somehow translate that idea to show other people what you're talking about, because a lot of times we can just talk about an idea, but until you really show people, sometimes they don't know what you're talking about. And so the best way to do that is to spell it out or give them something to hear or see. So I was doing a lot of digging around to look to see how I could show people what my idea is. And on a couple of sites that talked about like pitching your ideas to producers, there were a lot of comments that people put together demos. I might have talked about this on here before, but not lately. But one of the recommendations was to put together demos, which are basically like little CDs of the music that you envision for your show, because when you're doing a Broadway musical, the music is everything. If the music's no good, you don't have a concept. And so if you can kind of put something together, you know, you can hire your own band, or, you know, put your music to an actual device, like a SoundCloud or something like that, that you can send to people. And if they fall in love with your music, then they might fall in love with your concept. Well, I know nothing about music. I kind of think I can write lyrics because I can write poetry.
Right.
But I know that lyrics are more than poetry, but lyrics are basically poetry. If you go through and look at the lyrics on some of your favorite songs, it's very similar to poetry. So I don't profess to be able to write all of the lyrics myself because there is, real training and studying that is involved in writing lyrics, but I've written some poetry and I've also gathered some images and some new imagery from the story to put into this lookbook, this concept game. And so because I can't write music or put any music together for anyone to listen to, I went the visual route. So I made it look like a program. When this crosses in front of my face, do you have trouble hearing me?
No.
Okay, great. So I made it look, like if you went to a Broadway show, that's usually like how a program looks, where it spells out the main people involved. And then I gave right off the bat an image that's very important because there's been all kinds of research. We could talk for 2 hours just about this subject. All kinds of research about the lack of positive imagery for children of color. In fact, there was a study that was done where children of color were asked to draw a princess, and almost all of the children, white and black and brown children, drew princesses that looked white. Anthony must believe we have mental richness because he started following us. Thank you, Anthony. I look forward to staying in touch with you. Thank you so much for joining our family. But princesses of all colors drew only primarily white princesses because they had never seen black and brown princesses.
Right.
Now in this day and age, we have a few more black and brown princesses, but it's still not enough. It's not enough representation. And so this story is about a black princess. And so then I give what they call a tagline of a little synopsis of what this idea is about, which is basically about a little girl who falls in love with Broadway and doesn't let anything get in her way. Then I have a letter and a background on our company and why we do all the things we do, from diverse books and all kinds of representation. There's a story about the visionary behind the Kayla series, which is me. So I love that we took this branding image. That's one of my favorite images because it kind of shows a lot of the stuff we do, not just the Kayla series. We have images in here of us working. So that's me on the floor laid out with a lot of images, what we think maybe a stage would look like, a sample. And I have to give out a shout out to Charlene Mosley, boy, because she dreams right along with me. She's right in here in these trenches with me. We talk about
You guys are a great pair, and I just want to say, if anybody missed that interview, go back and watch the interview where Charlene Mosley's on here. It was really
yes, thank you for saying that because she is amazing. She's wonderful. So glad that I found her. But we talk about the books to give people an idea that there's already a series out there, and that is what really brought this story to life. If you're not familiar with the Kayla series, each book, the mom in the Kayla series struggles with mom guilt, as a lot of real life moms do. And so the mom kind of compensates for some of this struggle with her guilt by giving Kayla a gift in each book. And so it talks about the gifts. We talk about what we think the characters would look like. So there's a whole page on Kayla the Dreamer. Tommy is Kayla's best friend. So there's a whole section on Tommy, Kayla's best friend. And I just think all of this, if we had more time, I would go into more detail about what these images mean. But again, this is Charlene's idea to kind of mute these colors here. All of this speaks to what someone might see if they really came and saw this Broadway show. So on the Tommy page and then on this page, I have some of the poetry I've written that I hope will turn into lyrics. Again, more of this positive imagery about how young girls need to see a character like this. I love this image because it's really representational of what we are trying to achieve. There's a beautiful story, and I think that's actually how we started talking about. Thank you. I love you saying that you love the Tommy lyrics. I think we started talking about this book in more detail because I said I wish I had more time to go over this story, but this is some lyrics I wrote for a song that I envision will be called All I Want for You. where Kayla and mom in this series struggle with their relationship. Anybody who's a mom and has a daughter, anybody who's a daughter and has a mom knows mom and daughter relationships can be kind of tough. And I love this story, this poetry about their relationship, because the mom in the story is talking about how, you know, what she wanted for her daughter over time changed. So mom has a different of what, sorry about that. I was trying to move my camera down and I pushed something. Mom has a different, mom and daughter have a different vision of what the daughter's life will look like. And as we all know, once our children become adults, their life is theirs and it doesn't always look the way we thought it was going to look.
Right.
And there's a scene of tension in the show where Kayla asks her mom, what do you want from me? What do you want for me? And this song is the answer to that. And it talks about how the mom in the song says, what do I want for you? I thought I knew the answer to that. And she goes on to say, when you were first born, I'd hold you in my arms and I would whisper prayers over you. I wanted safety. I wanted protection. I wanted you to be happy, a lifetime of perfection. Just happy and safe and warm and dry and fed and well rested, no diaper rash, not to cry. But as you grew, I suppose other things took priority, things like being smart, a good start in school, and always fitting in with the majority. So you can kind of relate to that, like as a parent when, or even if you're not a parent yourself, but you have nieces and nephews, you know, when they're little, you just want them to be loved and cherished and well taken care of. And then when they get in school, you worry more about, like, you know, none of us really like worry about popularity, but we don't want our children to be unpopular and unhappy or
You
picked
want
on.
them to have friends and
Right, exactly. You know, none of us would probably say we want our children to fit in with the majority, but it feels good when our children don't come home crying that they're outcasts. And
right.
so you see from these lyrics how that changes over time. And mom's talking about how she wanted her child to have a skill, play an instrument, eat fruits and veggies. And again, she says not to cry, because we all want our kids to be happy and not cry. But then the mom goes on to say, then one day, and I'm going to slow down. I was trying to rush because, you know, Leanne, I have a goal of keeping these short,
Yes.
but I just can't rush through this. Okay. So this, I'm going to slow down a little bit. Then one day I found myself thinking other thoughts. It became more about me wanting you to be well liked than all the stuff I bought. It just seemed like fitting in, being well liked, going with the flow is what I hoped you sought. But if I listen to my heart, I know none of that really matters. What I want for you, all I want for you, is to have life delivered on a big shiny silver platter. Perfection is not where life is well lived. You have to make mistakes, take chances, make choices. You have to live it up a little, shake things up, add your voice to the voiceless. What do I want for you? All I want for you is whatever your heart's desire. What does your heart call you to do that, my love? I want you to pursue that with fire. All I want for you is your every wish come true. I suppose it's no longer really about what I want now. It's about me supporting your life now. It's your time to shine, baby. It's your time to inspire. I want magic and fireworks and rainbows every day. I mean, I want what you want, not what I want. I want to hear you say. And I love that interplay there where the mom's trying to say she wants what the child wants, but she keeps going back to I want. I want what you want.
Right.
I want, you know.
Right.
I mean, I want what you want, not what I want. I want to hear you say that you're in love with someone, something, anything, everything, that you know the excitement every new day can bring. I want you to love and dream and to be loved and to believe. Always believe that you came to this world for a reason, my love. You made my life everything that is good, everything that is true. You are here to be you, my love. Now I suppose what I want for you, all I want for you, is for you to be you.
Mm.
So that kind of, you know, resolves that conflict that Kayla and her mom have over, you know, how she's going to live her life now
Right.
that she's an adult and she can make her own choices. But if you're a Broadway,
Comment.
if you're a Broadway fan and you can't see that as a song, oh, Yesenia, oh,
Mhm.
see, I just think parents would definitely be able to relate to, you know. And another thing that I love about this, thank you so much for your comment, is that we don't get to see characters all the time that look like this experience. And it's not just, you know, a lot of times, sometimes I'll be at book festivals or something, and somebody will say to me, oh, I just think it's wonderful you write these stories for little Black kids who don't have these stories. And I do write these stories for little Black kids who don't have these stories, but I also write these stories for brown kids, and I also write these stories for white kids, because we all need to see stories of people who reflect our lives and our choices and what our life looks like. But we also need to see stories about people who don't look like us, because it evokes empathy. And that's what Yesenia is feeling right now. Right. She some empathy for me as a parent, and the story I'm sharing about these made up characters are inspired by me and my daughter's life, but these are made up characters. And Yesenia is feeling empathy for us, me writing the story, for the characters in the story, and for herself, which is appropriate to feel empathy for yourself as a parent who's facing these challenges. So I love these images, and I just thank Charlene so much for helping me bring this book to life, because I would have trouble translating, just like I couldn't write the music for someone to see. I would have trouble translating all of this if I didn't have Charlene helping me with all of this beautiful imagery. But I have some pictures of the real life Kayla. So Yesenia, you think you were crying before. Look at this baby with no teeth.
So cute.
I know, this is Kayla growing up. This is, you know, her going to New York, the first time she performed on a Broadway stage, and then her taking a picture of the theater she's going to be in when she followed her dream and made it to New York and went on stage. There are other images of just her dance career and our family and her growing up. Again, this just all lends to look, Kay McDaniel 11 has tears in her eyes too. I got everybody crying. That's a good thing, guys. That's a good thing. Again, this is Charlene. I have to give her credit for all of this. You see all these little Kaylas she made? I mean,
love those.
I love these. These are so beautiful. And then at the back of the book, we have a little information on the why something like this is so important. And that's a big sneak preview there of what Kayla looks like at the end. But we have some research in here about there was a Phantom of the Opera star who was the first African-American woman to play the lead in Phantom of Opera. And she talked in an article about how Black women are rarely seen in roles of beauty, power, and grace, and rarely seen as desirable. This is an unusual image for a Black or brown child to see. And I always think of your daughter, Leanna, when I see this image, because Leanna's daughter, who's not Black, still felt a connection to this story because this princess had curly hair like hers. That's what this does for people. Is it speaks to them in a way that relates to them personally.
Right.
And this is some behind the scenes, which I love. I wanted this picture included, even though it's not a picture of me. But I feel like people will look at this and they'll say, that chick right there, I want to party with her.
Yes.
With her. So we have images of all of the people so far who have worked behind the scenes on the book. This is Charlene here. Here's some behind the scenes images of those days that we were taking pictures for this book. And then at the end we have coming soon, because we sure hope that this dream comes true of bringing this story to Broadway. Then all of our contact information, and there's another little Kayla image on the back. So I've broken my rule on time and gone over, but I recognize this book is special. It's not that's for sale. That's another question I get a lot. I'm happy to show this off because I also think that people follow us who want to pitch ideas, who have dreams like this, and they don't know how to go about it. Right. I promise you, everything I looked at for pitching a Broadway show said get a demo together, and I couldn't do that. I don't have that kind of mind to do that, and I don't have those kind of connections. So when I came up with this idea, I thought of bringing the story to life and putting it in something like this. I mean, I know other people have done lookbooks before, so I'm not taking the credit for kind of coming up with the lookbook, but that wasn't really something that was recommended in what I was looking at for how to bring your show to life for someone. So that is the book that I take and I meet with people and I try to get them to believe and see what I see. And I have already had a meeting with one producer, and I have a meeting coming up in the next month or so with someone who does write music. So I'm so grateful for that, because music will make or break the whole show. So it's very important that you find the right people that help you with that. But that
And
all came from the dream of a diverse book. It all started with that.
And if you join us here, like I said, we are here every Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. You can follow along in this journey. I'm sure we'll be getting updates and more details. And so you can feel like you're a part of this journey with us as it ends up, as I'm sure will end up on Broadway. So that's pretty exciting. You're right here on the ground floor as we're going on this journey together. So we hope
It's
you
very,
again next week. As she mentioned, we're going to be doing a giveaway. You can win the entire series plus a lot of Kayla goodies.
yes.
And if you have any questions about or your own dreams, please feel free to comment, and because we always love hearing from you guys. Or if you want to do direct message, we're happy to respond to those as well.
Yes. And Leanna, I just have to say thank you so much for coming on and meeting me on here every week. You keep me focused. You have great questions. And I love how you hit home so people understand, like, I'm not just up here just, trying to sell what I do, but I really do have a dream that I think is inspirational to other people too. So you just have a real gift for helping me wrap everything up and showing people what I really hope to show them, which is if I can do this. I met somebody recently who is older and was talking about how she wished she had gone to college at a younger age and felt like it was too late. And I don't want to tell everybody how old I am, although it's no big secret if you look at my Instagram, but I'm not a spring chicken.
Right.
And I'm constantly doing what's on my heart to do. So don't think about age. Don't think about your resources. Don't think about your connections. This is why I call my company Make a Way. I just encourage you, if you have a dream, it is there for a reason. Listen to it, cultivate it, grow it, nurture it. Take whatever steps you can towards making it happen. So that's what I hope that people will get out of me showing them something like that.
Thank you. And I know we're close on time, but I just want to respond to that because you have been such an inspiration for me in that regard. Because I think even the very first time we talked, before I was even working with Makeaway Media, and talking about when you got started with this,
Yeah.
I'm not really a spring chicken either. And it's easy to look back and think, oh, I should have started sooner. It's too late. I've missed these opportunities. But after talking to you, I felt more like, no, this is just the next phase. And everything I've done up to this point has helped prepare me for what I'm doing next. Like the person who's just going back to college, I bet they're going to approach college a whole different way than if they went when they were 18 or 19 years old. They're going to bring so much more to the classroom than they would have back then and get a lot more out of it. So
Yes, I agree. And no, I think I know I try to keep things short because I just don't want people to feel trapped, with the 30-minute talk. But I do think that's an important point you bring up, and I hear so many people say it that we really need to counter that message. It should be more common for people to say you can do anything at any age
right.
is for people to say I waited too late. It's over. As long as you're not cold in the ground, it is not over. So thank you, Anna.
Thank you. And thanks to everybody who joined in. We'll see you here next week.
Giveaway next week. Come back.
Bye.
Bye.